Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final night of our little regular season here of the AVGL Call of Duty Black Ops 3 College Edition, brought to you by Control Freaks. And I'm Kevin Ducky McGinnis alongside Isaiah Atmos McCarthy.
What's up? Get hyped up for the night,
here we go. Yes, so tonight is the big night. This is when we are going to finalize the top 8 teams that are going to be moving on to our double elimination bracket that we will be running this weekend. Our first match tonight is going to be Brookdale Community College versus the College of Charleston. Now, both of these teams are 4-3, which puts them, we'll call it, in the hunt for making in the top 8.
Yeah, they got their work cut out for them.
Yes, they need to win both of their matches tonight, as well as hope that some of the higher seeded teams already lose their matches tonight. So this is an important match for both of these teams, and we're going to be seeing what they're able to do if they leave it all out on the virtual field as it is. We're going to be hopping into our first map, which is going to be Breach Hardpoint momentarily as we get ready for this picked ban. And Isaiah, you know, we've casted the College of Charleston before.
Yep.
What do you know? We saw they kind of struggled a little bit last time. What did they need to
what did you say their record was now?
They're 4-3.
All right. So they do have 4 wins since last time we met, right?
Yeah, I believe.
So
we
they've definitely
casted them
gained
fairly early
more
on.
experience. So let's just see what they can do.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's hop into the ban and protect here for Breach Hardpoint. Trophy system. Ooh, that's a different ban. That's not something we usually see.
Okay.
And that's those are some complimentary picks there. The trophy system ban isn't something we've seen before, but it makes a lot of sense because
it's not a bad ban.
No, definitely. Oh wow. Okay, these bans you can definitely tell are kind of reactionary to one another. Mm-hmm. The trophy system being gone means that there could be a larger focus on
but now
grenades.
Since Flak Jacket is protected, you know.
Yeah, now that
you might
Flak Jacket is protected,
anyway.
They might have less of a a quick draw ban. That again
that can mess with a lot of teams.
Yeah,
it really can.
I think a lot of people run quick draw, and pretty much
everybody runs quick draw.
Now, do you think that affects SMG players more or AR players more?
I think it affects SMG players more because they're the ones that need to react like in milliseconds.
Right. Yeah. You know, the AR players often maybe just post it up already.
Yeah, I don't even run quick draw with my AR. I rather take stock.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So maybe we're going to see kind of a slower game coming out from these two teams. The specialist draft going down right now as Brookdale is going to be on your left side, Charleston on your right. Obviously, once we get into name those
kinetic armor
and get into game, those names will update.
Camo.
But I'm interested to see, since looks like we're heading towards kind of a slower play for this hardpoint, what these specialists are going to be. Maybe we're going to see mostly abilities. I mean, we usually do, but be interesting to see if Brookdale even picks up a single weapon. You see there, of course, Scythe going for Knife God. I believe that's a favorite of his. He's picked that the last time we saw him. And Gravity Spikes. Now, Gravity Spikes are a very interesting specialist.
It's an acquired taste.
It's an acquired taste.
It really
I like
is.
that. I like that.
You know, you just gotta run in there, Hulk smash.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash that.
Now, you know, how useful do you think they can be, though?
You know, if you're that lone wolf trying to clear out a whole hill by yourself, it can work out great.
Yeah, and I think this might be the map for it. You know, there are
multiple hills inside, in close.
Yeah,
all the hills.
The first hill and the third hill, I believe,
but all
especially
the hills are pretty close quarters.
Yes, but the first and third, especially, I believe, are
because the whole area
very small.
Yeah,
and so
pretty much you can get killed anywhere.
Yeah, that gravity spike, you know, range on that will pretty much extend to most of that hard point. It's just a matter of whether, you know, Shuneman here will survive the leap, you know, to throw them down.
Can kinetics survive gravity?
You know, I'm not exactly sure about the interaction there. It'll be interesting to see if there's some counterplay there. But even then, that's still only one player, if they have it, that will be able to
It'd just be an interesting chain of events.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how that works because, of course, kinetic armor, I think, is focused on bullets. I don't even know how necessarily interacts with explosives because, you know, it doesn't even protect your head. Yeah. Headshots are still viable, so I'm not sure how non-bullet damage interacts with kinetic armor. Maybe we'll find out. Hey, you know, learning experience for all of us. These teams are finishing up their classes right now, and looking at the specialist draft from these teams, Isaiah, you know, is there really one team you think that has the upper hand?
I think, Knife God is rocking the scythe, so I think that has an advantage because the other team only has gravity spikes.
Yeah, gravity spikes, I mean, it's kind of weird to call them a weapon, but they're fairly close to a weapon compared to the other abilities that Brookdale has picked up here in this draft. Whereas, as we've said, Knife God has that scythe, so we'll be interested to see if he puts that to use and can completely clear out a hill with that. But we're going to the first match of this series, of this best of 5, Breach Hardpoint. So with that quick draw ban, we're going to be looking here to see what these teams are going to be running in terms of
You might
guns.
see a few Kudas.
Yeah,
they have faster ADS than a VMP.
Well, let's take a look here. The 205 Brecci, something we've seen. Two 2 shotguns coming out. Interesting, concept there from Charleston. I think on this map it's kind of valid.
With KN? Was that 2 KNs?
2 KN. So this is going to be a very interesting match. And it looks like we also have C4s and shock charges, and oh boy, this is going to be very interesting.
This is the fiesta.
Yeah, this is going to be quite the match we're going to have going on here. And now let's see who's going to be the first ones to break into this hill. It's going to be Magnum for Charleston. Interesting pre-fire there. I mean, he gets
no one was there. He had the right idea.
Yeah, he had the right idea, but it ended up kind of just being weird. He got the first couple seconds, but that being said, Charleston is able to pick up the first time on this hill. Davey Gravy with the 2-piece going to be looking to push into it.
Switches to the Brecci, picks up the kill.
Yes, wow, very interesting that we're seeing them run overkill there with assault rifles and the Brecci. That is very interesting. Charleston,
it's unorthodox, but it gets the job done.
This isn't something that we saw from Charleston last time we casted them. It's obviously something.
It looks like they picked a few tricks of the trade.
Yeah, maybe they've been watching some of the other teams that have definitely been using those shotguns. Now Brookdale will have control of the hill. Mupus will be the last one alive as 3 kills come down for Charleston. Make that 4. They will take control right back. They're gonna have the last couple seconds. Let's see who is on the rotate. And it looks like it is going to be Charleston. Brookdale that is going to be on that rotate, I believe, unless I'm stupid and looking at the wrong hill. Oh no, yep, nope. I was stupid and looking at the wrong hill, just like I said.
Charleston been set up.
Yes, Charleston set up nicely here for the second hill. This is actually the one I thought was the third hill. That's why I got confused. But Brookdale will take that right back. Nice kill there from Davey Gravy. The hip-fire headshot will allow his team to take control back now. 42-20. They are in a good position here to take the lead off of this hill. I say that though. Kills, trades coming down. Should have been last alive for his team. Able to pick up the player sliding in. 30 seconds left on this hill, and they definitely have the opportunity to take the lead here. However, 3 players will just rush him. No way he was going to survive that. Spawns. Yeah, Charleston taking advantage of those good spawns. Do they actually have someone anchoring it? Not really. Maybe just a tiny bit of luck there.
If I was Charleston, I'd rotate now. They already got the spawns for it.
Yeah, they have the spawns, and with 10 seconds left on this hill.
It looks like they're setting up right now.
You see Davey Gravy tries to go for the aggressive rotate through mid, but will get shut down. Let's see, that will be Charleston once again in a solid position here. Magnum going to be posted up on that bar. Knife God going to be watching the right side. Rostafarian up top AC. Seems like they have some solid setups here, an evolution of what we were seeing from them last week for sure. Isaiah, we're looking here. Is there anything Brookdale necessarily is doing wrong? Do you think it really just comes down to those rotations?
It just comes down to the rotations, like you were saying. Charlestown was obviously rotating before they were and able to set up.
Yeah, you see maybe, a lack of priority for those rotations. Brookdale kind of seeming to focus on that scrap time instead, which, they're not certainly not losing by a lot here, 76-46, but the clock keeps ticking in favor of Charleston. As I say that, though, they will take control.
And they are going to break it.
Yes, so they are going to break it, but however, again, that's just scrap time.
They're just giving Charleston the setup time.
Exactly.
Like, no one's even trying to contest their setup right now.
Right, I mean, we see kills going down mid. It seems like they're, like I said, going for the aggressive mid rotations, which isn't really working out for them because they're not.
Yeah, they should go back and try to get spawns.
Yeah, they should maybe do something more.
Because Charlestown has an anchor.
Yeah, do more going around the entire map instead of rushing through the mid. I think at this point it's kind of obvious. They tried it.
And if they get picked off, but if they get picked off like that, they spawn super out. Look at that.
Yeah, exactly. They
Three of
are
them spawned main control.
spawning on the exact opposite side of the map, and that is exactly the opposite of what you want for a hard point. 30 seconds left in this hill, and Charleston now jumping out to a 40-second lead here, about to make it halfway to their goal. Oh, was that a team kill that came out? No, okay. I thought it was for a second.
Yeah.
We've actually, that's something
dual L cars.
We've seen a surprising...
I love dual L cars, man.
Yeah, oh my God. I remember the start of this game when, I mean, people would run akimbo L cars, even a single L car over anything, over an SMG. They were just that powerful.
Funny guns, man.
They are. Those machine pistols are something. However, Brookdale now, as we were talking about that, will be in line.
They're actually set up
that
for Charleston for a change, you know?
Yes, Brookdale will have that control. They had 3 in the hill. 1 will go down. Looks like there's going to be a couple players pushing from behind. One of those is Rostafari, and he gets hit with a shock charge and will get taken out. Yeah, solid hold of this hardpoint right now from Brookdale.
Yeah, this is big plays for Brookdale. They could start a comeback here.
Yeah, they have the setup here. They have looks like they have a solid amount.
And they know where they're spawning.
Yeah, they are using their specialist to...
See a little bit of lag right there.
Yeah, a little, hey, online's online. Maybe... Oh, this is...
Oh, no.
We're just gonna... Let's hope this is on our end and not on theirs. Okay, things are smoothing out. But 135 now to 95. Charleston will take control of the hardpoint right back. 10 seconds left. And it almost seems like they may be getting put on the back foot here. Kind of in the same way we saw Brookdale on the back foot in the first half of this game. We saw them being the ones forced to take the scrap time.
It looks like Charleston is set up for mid. But
yeah,
but Brookdale did get some good time on that hill.
Yeah, they did. They are still down by 40 points, but they are certainly still in this. A big 2-piece there for Magnum. Make it a 3-piece. Absolutely going huge for his team to secure this hardpoint. May find the 4th right here. No, that will be Mupus with the KN that will take him out, and he will almost take control of this hill, but Rostafari in a solid position there. Read him like a book and is able to, again, secure the hill for his team. 160 now to 102. Getting kind of, into the later stages of this match now. Let's take a quick look through the players, see who has streaks and specialists. That'll be Knife God with his Scythe and his Guardian. Let's see what he uses with that. On the side of Brookdale, they don't really have anything, so let's stick with Knife God, see what he's going to do.
If Brookdale decides to rotate now, they could muster up something.
Yeah, but it looks like, again, they're doing those late pushes that you kind
of... There's 3 set up at the next point right now. So they could have something going for them.
Yeah, this is their chance, and they need to hold down this hill.
This is big.
There's going to be a couple players that will be challenging Mupus. He's sitting there with the KN-44. The shock charge comes out. Oh, the active camo. That's what that was. The active camo beautifully used there as Knife God comes in on the back of that and picks up 2. Going to find a 3rd round from him. No, his teammate will get it. A team kill, though. Charleston, though, is solid command of this hill. And, ooh, he reads the Psychosis perfectly, but Brookdale uses the active camo right back and takes it back just as Charleston used on them, though it will not be enough. Brookdale, though, will take control. He is one shot there.
Ooh, gets taken out.
We see a lot of back and forth in this hill, more than we've seen in previous hills. And, when you get to this stage of a hardpoint, that definitely favors the team that has the lead, because not only are you still getting time, but you're kind of dwindling down that neutral clock.
I don't see much hope for Brookdale anymore.
Yeah, 20 seconds left. Are they set up for the next hill? No. Okay, Brookdale does have one person in this hill, but one person...
Will they be able to hold it down?
One person looks like... Oh, he turns around at an inopportune time. Actually might work out for him. Finds 1, finds 2. That nade
still alive.
Will not take him out. Mupus will also be in here, but he is looking the wrong direction. Yes, he is the last one alive for his team. He needs to hold this down. There's going to be 2 players to his left. He is unable to do anything about them. Caught in the reload now. 230 to 128. Charleston is able to close it out on this hill. Solid positioning there from Knife God, able to take out the player rushing from the right side. Mupus, however, with that KN-44, is able to get some kills, but it won't be enough. Now, Isaiah, how much of this do you think... do you think the KN-44 was a good idea?
No. No.
The thing is,
no ARs were banned.
Yeah.
So it's like, why not use the best ARs?
Yeah, I think the Man of War is pretty much objectively better than the KN-44.
Without a doubt.
Unless maybe you have host. I mean...
But I don't think that's the reason why they lost. They lost because Charleston, this is the new Charleston. They've gained a lot of experience. You can tell that they've learned a lot.
Yeah, for sure. They are hungry to make it into the top 8. bracket here going for a piece of that $5,000 in scholarship money.
That Karate Kid, though.
So Charleston takes the first map 250 to 128. And Brookdale seemed a little bit lost in terms of their timings.
Yeah.
You know, they were making a lot of late pushes.
Their rotates were really awkward. They didn't really have a set time where they, rotate. And I don't think they knew an anchor role existed.
Yeah, that's something we've been seeing a lot from these teams, is not necessarily using, spawn
Game mechanics.
manipulation to their most potential. But let's, look at the scoreboard real quick.
Charlestown was using their anchor really good.
Yeah. Rostafarian going triple positive for his team, 27-9, going big with the main sleigh, able to help his team lock down those hills. And it was interesting because it seemed like there were some times when Brookdale had the rotation.
Yeah.
But also a lot of the times
it was like
when
only
they didn't.
one guy.
Yeah.
That was actually in the point.
It was kind of strange. I'm curious if that was a communication problem, if that was something that had to do with
lack of experience.
Or maybe this just isn't a map they, are experienced with.
I mean, the game's been out for quite some time now.
That is true, but, everyone has their favored and, disliked maps. Maybe this is just one that these players don't like, but we're going to be going to our second map, Search and Destroy. When we come back, going to see if Brookdale can bring this back 1-1 or if Charleston will make it 2-0.